good, everyone? It's me, it's Dom. But today, the power of silence and being intentional with your words. All right, silence is super powerful. Silence is deadly, man. Y'all heard of silent treatment? There's a reason why they do that. Some people do it on purpose. Some people just do it because they just emotionally suppress and just freeze and just don't know what to say. It's super crazy. It's super powerful. But when you know how to actually just put it in control, I'm not saying a lot of things can go your ways, but a lot of things can go your ways. You know, we're not trying to be manipulative or evil. We're just using silence to our advantage because we don't want to say too much. We don't want to give too much. We don't want to let ourselves get put in a weak position because other people take advantage of us. I know, always be aware of what other people are trying to do for you, because a lot of the times, a lot of people are just trying to gain something. And that doesn't mean to always be on edge and just be scared of everyone or just think everyone is just trying to out for you. No, a lot of people are genuine. Most people are genuine. Most people are sincere. Most people want well for you. Who knows if they want well for you, but most people are friendly. It all depends on your energy, what type of energy you give off. We're all different in many ways. We all got different personality types. It's just how you communicate. But the silence I'm talking about is just the silence in conversations, just in conversations where you can really think about what people are trying to tell you without becoming reactive to what they're saying. Because a lot of the times we think people are attacking us personally, when in reality they're not. When in reality they're telling us through their lens, like they have their own lens, and you just gotta try to understand and just be more aware and just slow down. Now you can obviously tell if someone's trying to attack you, right, with words or with hate or whatever, because they have a tone or something. Silence is going to defend that, because who's trying to argue with someone who's just silent, just letting them argue? They want a reaction out of you. They're trying to get you riled up. They're trying to get you reactive so you can go off on them, so then they don't look like the bad person. So use silence to just be like, okay, nod your head, be respectful, be more mature, be better. Don't get on their level. Don't go down to their level either. So just do that. They'll probably eventually maybe come to a realization of just, why are they talking so loud, or why are they doing so much, or why do they seem to be doing this, disrespecting or whatever, or maybe not. Maybe they won't realize that. Maybe they'll just keep talking their head off, and it might piss them off even more. That is why you got to keep your distance, just be silent. And after they've spat out whatever they want to spat out, you can just move along, decide what you want to do best. Keep your guard, be strong, have that spine, have that backbone, but still know what you need to do. You can just use words. Be the bigger person. Like, I understand where you're coming from, you know what I mean? And this can come with a lot of jobs. It don't matter the hierarchy either if someone is above you. I'm telling you, self-respect is more important than anything, even if it costs you your job, and you have a right to freaking file back, like not fight back, but file back for a claim or whatever. So that's just what it is. It don't matter who it is. And so use that. And then now we're talking about being more intentional with your words. Be more intentional with your words and what you say, instead of just saying how you feel. You really shouldn't care about other people's opinions, but if you're in that type of situation where it kind of matters, then you just got to explain. You could use words like I feel like, because you're talking about yourself. You're not directly coming and attacking them. You're not trying to say you, that. That's not what you're trying to do here. You're trying to come to an understanding. So being more intentional, and then that way conflict can come to an agree to disagree, or whatever the case may be. And so This will just help you in day-to-day communication. You know what I mean? Feeling people's energy out, feeling what they have to say, you know, not being on edge, and just always keeping it pushing. Always keeping it pushing. And when you're silent, you can just observe. You know, you step into a new environment. You're the new kid at school. You're the new person at the job. You're whatever, you know. You obviously got that selection of just like being a mystery. But when you start spouting out or whatever, people start not taking you seriously. It shouldn't matter what people say, but you still have that aura around you. So when you just have that, you know, don't be shy, be strong. Be strong in yourself and just use that silence to your advantage to really know what's going on, really know the environment, really know the background of what you're getting into. You know, case by case scenario. Silence can be used in everything, not just conflicts, not just conversations. You know, they talk about no contact. That's what I learned so much. That changed my life. No contact changed my life. It don't matter. You can do that with anyone. That's not manipulative. That's just you protecting yourself. You protecting yourself. Friends, relationships. If someone did this or did that, walked away or disrespected you, you don't need to hit them back up. Because then they're just going to think they can just keep respecting you, disrespecting you. But no, because you focused on yourself. You're focused on you. You got your own things going on. You don't need someone else to complete you. And that's what goes with that. There's so much as to what silence can do. You know, less is more. Less is always more. Maybe not always. And then there goes with speaking. When you speak intentionally with clear thoughts and just pausing. Pausing is so crazy. I just, you know, and just stop, look around. Split second notice. It shows you're more confident. You can literally be so confident with your words and just pause. Those little tiny moments that just make it a little awkward but create so much tension in what you're doing. You know, I was gonna say I beg you. No, you practice this. Pausing, you know. I learned so much, a lot of social and communication skills whenever I was soaking up. Because that was like the first part too, was the social skills. Maybe that's where I am, but that. Because that's the one big thing about us humans is just language, communication. It's so strong. You know, people literally have so much influence, have so much power. Like, look what I'm doing. When you put yourself out there, when you use that speech, you use that tone, you have so much power. You probably think you're powerless and you think you can't make a change. You can make one video saying whatever you wanted to say, saying some crazy stuff. It could go viral. It can go millions, everything, and life change like that. I just thought about the talk to a girl. Oh my, like literally. What does that tell you? Just open her mouth literally and just said that. What does that tell you? It don't make sense to me, but that's just what it is, and that's just speech. They stop. I don't know. That's just speech, man. But when you figure both of these out too together, you can really become something different. And just, you know, it's probably like a law of power. I don't know which one it is, but I need to get on that as well. So I just think everyone should practice these two, really get it down, and you'll see a change in your day-to-day communication, your day-to-day life, and just what's actually better for you. And it could just help you in so many ways. So that's what it is. Some of my thoughts. And yes, sir.